I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans.
And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field.
Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
You are listening to Let Him Cook. I'm Dylan Coon, as always, joined with Nigel Dyson. Nigel, going to be another one of those episodes. I think Cyclone Nation, we're going to have to change the name again to Let Him Cook, because it's been a tough week, really, for both of your teams, Duke and Iowa State. And Jackson, let's just rip the Band-Aid off on this. For the only listeners, we are showing a picture. Nigel, do you want to explain what's going on here?
I mean, if you guys were living under a rock on Saturday, tie ball game. First of all, Cameron Boozer. We're recording this at 10:55 p.m. So I'm a little brain fatigued. However, I can walk you down the entire play. About 13 seconds left. Cam Boozer gets the bejesus smacked out of him on the other end. Mind you, Carolina only had 1 second half foul, but that's another conversation for another day. Then they walk it down. You know, we're kind of flustered on defense, and they run a simple baseline drift to the right corner there, and Seth Trimble is wide open for a buzzer beater three. And the refs, mind you, it's cringy as is. They rush the floor over another blue blood win. Like this should be like act like you've been there moment. They treat it like they're Miami of Ohio, and they rush the floor one time already, right? And then the refs were like, well, nah, I mean, you know, let's put 0.4 up there. Mind you, the only basketball player I think in history of the game that's gotten up a shot that's been good in that time frame was Derek Fisher in the 2003 Western Conference Finals against the Spurs in Game 4. That no one else has done it. It's physically impossible to get a shot off, and for whatever reason, full court. It's Duke ball at the end of the full court on the other side of the floor. Excuse me, and like you want someone to get a legible shot off, and then to make matters worse, Carolina's like, yeah, the guys, we may have gotten ahead of ourselves. Let's rush the floor again. That was good practice. Let's do it again, and let's hit a few coaches while we can. Who has a water bottle? Throw it at John Shire's staff. I mean, guys, if you didn't hate these people before, now's a great time to get on my bandwagon, because these people suck. They're bad, bad, bad people. Bad people. And it was tough because I was celebrating a dinner with my family. We were celebrating a promotion that I just received recently. It's supposed to be good vibes. And here I am sitting by my 7-year-old niece. Mind you, I just got her a Duke jersey for Christmas. She loved it. She was all into the game. I felt like a proud dad. They hit the game winner, and I could just see the defeat in her body. And I was like, I'm sorry. It's okay. We got him at Cameron in March. Don't worry. But the initial reaction, I said some colorful shit at the dinner table, and my mom was not happy. But that's neither here nor there. It was just a tough scene to be Nigel. Because it was bittersweet. It's like, oh, I'm celebrating something happy, but internally I feel like crying. So that was my Saturday. How was yours, Dylan?
So I spent mine at Hilton Coliseum. And Iowa State, we're going to talk about Baylor. We're going to talk about TCU. And then honestly, we are just like in peak college basketball mode right now. Saturday was a great day. Not a great day for you, Nigel, I understand. But you had Duke, North Carolina, Michigan State, Illinois. It wasn't like two huge teams, but Tennessee, Kentucky was a really good game. You had Houston that night. Like it was good basketball everywhere you looked. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. You had Kansas, BYU on Big Monday, or Kansas, Arizona, excuse me. So we're going to get into all that. So let's go to Saturday though with Iowa State, Baylor. kind of Iowa State's homestand. You go on the road to TCU, and then you come back for Kansas Houston. And this game started, it was a wideout. Nigel, I want to talk about this. You and I were both students at Iowa State for some lean years.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the 2-22 team before we started recording. My first year would have been like Wigington and Cam Lard and Shayok, and that was a tournament team, but there was so much chemistry issues, and then that was really Prome's last serviceable year.
Yeah.
And I remember Iowa State played Seton Hall and Miles Powell. And this is true for the Hoiberg students. This is true for probably the McDermott students. Hoiberg had a lot of success, but it felt like we were so much better at Hilton because of what that environment was. And it felt like they needed to be great to win against teams like Baylor and Kansas and Texas when they came to town. I feel like the students we have now are so used to winning, are so used to success. They kind of assume, especially when it's a Baylor, they're not ranked. They're having, not the season they thought they were going to have. They kind of take these games for granted. It feels like that to me. And there are the students that still show up hours early and are running to the student section. But like you look at the top row of the student section on Saturday against Baylor, there's empty seats. And there's not the same pandemonium. There's not the same kind of angst that like I just look back and watched that Naz Long buzzer beater against Oklahoma State. That place looked like a riot. Like there was not a single student that wasn't losing their mind. And I get that's like he hit a 25-foot shot to send it to overtime against a team Iowa State did not like at that time. But we just don't have that same oomph. And maybe, Kansas is obviously a different story. I feel like Kansas and Iowa every year are the two games where it's like students are going to show up. The farmers and the people from small town, that's when they bring it, is those two games. So please, students, fans, everyone, if Kansas this Saturday isn't full of piss and vinegar, I know it's a noon tip-off. I'd like to be that. You've never heard piss and vinegar?
No.
Really?
Keep talking, man.
I need
Proceed.
Kansas to be Tyrese Hunter levels of toxic. I want that place to be on fire by 11:45 a.m. Like, don't let Darryn Peterson get off the bus without being scared for his safety.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And I think that's the problem. Is just like people used to winning now. It's not really a big deal. To kind of paint like a parallel, and again, I'm not comparing us to this like level of, because obviously we talk about tiers within college sports and what teams, depending on what sport we're talking about, what teams rely on each tier. When you think about, so my buddy Connor, shout out to Connor Tierney, currently right now in med school, goes to Ohio State University, the Ohio State University.
Shout out.
His first year was last year. They won a national championship. And this year, basically went undefeated until they played down Indiana. Like, did not even have a problem not only walking down the conference games, but also their conference games. And I remember going to visit him back in October. They had played Penn State, and they killed him. And I remember getting lunch with him and a few of his friends afterwards. And I remember them making the comment of, like, games are getting a little boring. And it's crazy to kind of see the phenomenon of that kind of coming to us, especially so quickly. Like, we haven't proved anything yet.
Right.
So, guys, I get, like, Ames, Iowa, early February, not a great time. Like, I get it. Seasonal depression is on 1,000, and the days are long, and it's freezing, and the wind is just... right when you walk out the door, it's smacking you in the face. I get it. But these are like your outlets. These are the moments where you can let out some steam, blow a fuse, say some uncanny things to another individual your age who just might be above 6 foot. What a unique opportunity. Why not? Yep. Why not take advantage of that? I used to get up out of bed and thrive on these opportunities. Because everything else that wasn't going well in my life, I could just take it out on Tyrese Hunter. You know, I'm taking it out on Christian Braun. I'm taking it on Abaji. You know, like the list goes on and on of how many people I've called out of their name. And I'm not saying that should be the only motivation you want to have to get out of bed come winter time of a school year. But the reality of it is you're not going to get these years back. Like Dylan and I are saying this from the other side of the hill. And I know probably in different ways, but in the same ways too. Like we would do anything to be back in the student section again, just like having that piece of innocence back in our lives. So I think, you know, deeper than like being, you know, prideful in your university and prideful in the school and prideful in a team that's good this year and it has been good for the last few years, like don't get complacent because you guys have, like, think about the class of 2022. They came in Ames in the fall of 22. They're graduating this spring. And they've had a pretty good run. Like their worst year in that span was a round 1 loss to Pitt.
Yeah,
I'll take it. You mean to tell me your worst year was a tournament game?
And then they were a 2 seed, a 3 seed, and then probably they're going to be a top 3 team, a top 3 seed again.
Yeah. So again, it's more so like just enjoying it, man, because you don't get like you can always cheer on Iowa State, like it's not going away, but to be there, to have the opportunity to be in one of the most historic basketball arenas in college basketball history, like I don't think sometimes kids really understand like the opportunity that's right there in front of them down the street. So I think that's more of the reminder people need. You think people need a kick in the pants, but it's really just like, yo, you only have so many of these opportunities a year, and you only get 4 years of them, and they go by pretty quick. So my best advice would be, yo, lock in. Like the season's already on the back end of the schedule here. Like we don't have many opportunities to cheer on this team, to cheer on Tamin Lipsey, to cheer on Joshua Jefferson, to cheer on Milan, because we know he's probably gone at the end of the year. So it's like you don't want to just like let these moments pass you and then be a gross 27-year-old in your metropolitan city, be like, oh, I wish I would have went to more games. Like now's the time. So on a Saturday where you're probably not doing anything but sitting on the couch or laying in bed, doom scrolling or something, I need you guys to turn it up, take your butt down to Hilton, and just cheer on the Cyclones. We cannot have this issue going forward. The last stretch of games is going to be horrid, not just for us, for a handful of Big 12 teams at the top of the conference. So where can we find our advantages? I believe we're a good basketball team. I believe we can win games down the road, but we got to win in the small portions too, to like really find advantages this time of year. And it starts with our fans. So I pray to God that DMP is the only thing you can hear in Hilton Coliseum come Saturday. Because that's who's walking into the gym. And he thinks he's going to have a light 25 in 26 minutes, and then he's going to pull out the massage gun and take a break. Not on my watch. They're going to need him for 40. You hear me? And if Trey Wright looks like Klay Thompson out there one more time, I will set myself on fire. And that's not a joke. It'll come earlier than everyone expected. Forget the mid-major. If Trey White looks like Klay Thompson on Saturday, it's going to be an issue. Someone's going to pay. Okay?
I just want to go up to like the students and tell them, like, you have Joshua Jefferson, Tamin Lipsey, and Milan Momcilovic. I had Rasir Bolton, Darlin Stone Dubar. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
shout out to the homies. They're good dudes. They're good dudes.
Young, great, like I'm sure great individuals, but like the levels of basketball, like there's levels to, like you don't know how good you have it. I would do anything to be a student during the run that the students currently have, or the Hoiberg run. Like you and I both were just sandwiched in between like two of the greatest eras of Cyclone basketball. Please, like, understand how cool and special this is, and lose your goddamn mind these next 2 home games. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. No, and again, I don't know what it is. Like I think what kind of kept me motivated, like I think without my internship at KCCI, I would have been a very unmotivated senior myself. If I'm being completely transparent, that kept me kind of very aware that I had limited amount of time left in Ames. So I was more willing to go to a game when I had the free time. I was more willing to, get my friends to go when I knew all of us had limited amount of time. So I think that's half the battle, is like just being present, knowing where you are, and being self-aware. And I think things like this are easy. Like going out and trying to find a job in a few months, that's real pressure. Enjoy the time while it's right here in front of you and you can just have a fun and be a kid. Like I don't want to get too caught up in like, I would die to go back, because it's not that serious. But it's just the reality of it is like, if I could take a pill every day and go to an Iowa State basketball game and be a student again, or go to work and, do this and that and a bunch of other adult-like tasks, I would probably decline, respectfully. Yeah. I obviously like my job, but I would probably decline if I had the choice. So that's my point. And just getting to the bottom of just like enjoying your time while you're young, because the clock's ticking. And that goes for freshmen. In a few months, you're going to be a sophomore. Sophomores, in a few months, you're going to be a junior. Juniors, in a few months, you're going to be seniors. And before you know it, you're going to be tossing a gown in the air. Like, it comes by fast. So you gotta just appreciate every moment and appreciate the team that's in front of you. Because again, I know Tuesday wasn't ideal, but the reality of the situation is like, this has still been a great year, and it still can be an even better year. So don't lose hope now. Not before Valentine's Day. Not during Black History Month. Have some strength, man. Come on, buck up.
As Jackson Pence, our producer, only 4 home games left this year.
Yeah.
Like, are those big 3, Nate Heisey, like, these guys only have 4 games left. Like, we got to go. So, but let's get into the Baylor game a little bit. And speaking about one of those guys, Milan Momcilovic has been just the best 3-point shooter of all time, all season. But the thing that stood out to me against Baylor is he was really doing it. He had a couple threes, but he just scored so many different ways, especially to start that game. Him and Blake Buchanan had a really solid kind of 2-man game at the start of that Baylor game. Nigel, I don't know how Baylor, and maybe they will turn it on here in this last kind of half of the Big 12 season, but they have such elite shot makers between Carr and Yesufu and that transfer from Wyoming, Agbin.
Yeah, Agbin.
Like all 3 of those guys were making such tough shots, good closeouts on the 3-point shot, and it just did not, like, those 3 guys, what they're really missing is like an interior defensive presence. I mean, like they just get cut apart in the paint, but those 3 guys can shoot it, and they were doing a lot of that in the first half. I really think Baylor could surprise some teams that are sleeping in February.
Yeah. Also, Cameron Carr, his jersey number pisses me off.
Well, I don't even know what it is.
Number 43.
Yeah, gross.
Who are you, Grant Williams? Get out of my face.
Pascal Siakam, ass number.
Yeah, wait, like what? No, like what? Why would you do that? Like, you had so many options to choose, and you were like, "Yeah, Scott, give me a 43." Yeah, put my last name on it too, please and thanks. Like, dog. It gets to a point. I don't think all college kids deserve autonomy when it comes to picking jersey numbers. That is my given point. You cannot be nice with it and be number 43. Like, name an NBA player or a college player of that matter that is like legendary status, best 43. Player on their team. Like, Siakam's always just been a glue guy. You want to be a glue guy? Are you the best player on the team?
Second best player on a championship team. Almost 2 different years he was that.
In 2019, everyone knows it was Fred VanVleet. It was Kawhi and Fred VanVleet.
I don't know.
Siakam was a third option on that team.
All-star.
That team was way too deep.
And Kawhi was just that was one of the craziest runs by a single individual in the playoffs.
It was like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were like together.
Yeah.
In one person.
And then they won a championship. It was nuts.
It was unreal. But gross decision. I mean, just the and then James Najee, number 46. I'm sorry. Are you a lineman? What's going on here?
halfway through the season, not a lot of numbers left.
46 shouldn't even be an option.
This is one more thing. I promise I'll stop harping on the student section. Did he play in the G League? I thought he was just an overseas guy. I know he got drafted.
He signed a contract, but he never officially played a game. The G League dropout is the kid from Alabama. He played a G League. He played G League games, and now is back in college.
But our student section was chanting G League dropout to a guy that never actually played in the G League.
Again, this is my point of not being present. You see me, before I went to a game at Hilton, I'd do research. I'd look up what your mom's name is.
We were looking up sisters and girlfriends.
Yeah.
We were.
I was bringing up ex-girlfriends. I'm like, yeah. Remember Tracy? Because I do.
She doesn't remember you.
Yeah. She said that free throw looking a little shaky. Oh my God. No, but that's the thing. I sometimes I feel like, again, because you're used to it. You're coming from a perspective of us, right? We saw Iowa State suck. Yeah. So we know, as fans, what type of edge we can bring to a game day environment to help our teams get an edge. When kids, especially the seniors of a university, have only known a team for being good, it's very hard for them to get creative because, again, wins are just an assumption. You're only shocked if you lose. So I think it's more of a fall off effect from so much success recently. And again, this is the problem with Iowa State is we get a little bit of success and then we act like we've won a natty. We have not touched a natty. We've not touched a Final Four floor since World War II.
Yep. Been a while.
My brother in Christ. Those people are no longer around. Yeah. And you want to act like this is light work? We haven't done anything. It bothers me because it's just a lack of, I don't know, care to a degree. I'll wait till March. And that's the problem too, is I think sometimes college kind of creates that environment where not every diehard fan goes to Iowa State. Some people go to DMAC. Some people go to another community college. Some people go to Iowa Lakes or something. It doesn't matter. But I think sometimes the diehard fans are not always sitting right there on campus, and that could be half the issue. Some of them may have moved to Des Moines. There's a ton of other type of factors, but again, it roots from, I think, collectively the university right now just being a little too used to winning that we don't know how to bring the intensity all the time unless you bring the student section in the locker room with TJ. Maybe then we can get a little pumped up, but who knows if Matt Schultz will be okay with that, It'll probably be some sort of violation. And Lord knows if I was in there, I'd throw a water ball at somebody too. If I saw Darryn Peterson, pow, right in the kisser. Throwing one right in his grill. Actually, no, I'm throwing a water bottle at his hamstring. Now let's see how many minutes you play, you chump.
I want to be on the record. We are not condoning throwing.
Please don't actually do that.
Water bottle. You didn't hear it from us.
Guys, it's satire. This is a satirical bit. Yeah. I'm not actually going to do that. And neither should you.
If someone decides to do that, which again, we do not support or condone, but if someone does, it wasn't us. It wasn't our fault. You didn't hear it from us.
It wasn't us.
It was some college kid making a bad decision, and it's not funny at all. So don't do it. Moving on.
I don't even go to college.
It's been years.
Let's change the subject.
Tame and Lipsy. Anyways, this guy. So he's going to have kind of a two parts in this podcast because the stuff he did in this Baylor game was otherworld. I've never seen. I mean, his hustle is, you can't speak enough about it, Lipsy hustle. But, he had floor burns on both knees so bad that he had to get called over to the bench, get taped up. They had 30 seconds for him to, do it. They the ref told him, you have 30 seconds. Athletic trainer just put it, go back, and then, literally not a minute later, it's Tame and Lipsy Superman diving into the scorer's table to try to save a ball. Like he was on one against Baylor. The hustle plays, he had a possession where he had 2 offensive rebounds, and a lot of it was for naught. Like a lot of these kind of crazy heroic plays ended up in like Baylor getting the ball back. We didn't end up scoring on the possession where he got 2 offensive rebounds. But it's those like things, like him saving the ball, that literally does not show up on the stat sheet. Like when we talk about the winning plays that he makes, that is the definition of it. Like that's not going to show up anywhere on stats. But oh my God, like if that guy comes to you in the huddle and says you're not working hard enough to another player, you got to listen to that guy, because that guy is working hard enough. Like that guy was putting his whole body on the line every single on offense and defense. He was just going for it. He got a really cool curtain call. He ended up going back into the game because that game got a little too close for comfort. But Hilton really like stood up and was like, "Hey man, like that was fucking crazy what you just did out there."
It is also crazy to like be diving on the floor, trying to turn the ball over, trying to give your team some momentum, and then it not go anywhere. It's like you keep doing it. At some point, you're just doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Like you didn't care about the result. I just want these floor burns, you know? And I think that says a lot about Taman's character. And again, it's not every day that you have a point guard that's willing to put his body on the line day in, day out. You know, you see some of the top names in college basketball right now. They are doing quite literally the absolute most to play the least amount of basketball.
Yep.
So the fact that you have an individual home, corn-fed, Ames, Iowa raised, willing to give his blood, sweat, and tears to this program, it says a lot. And it says a lot given the era of basketball that he's playing in, and that a player that obviously like he could choose to be like a Darryn Peterson. He could choose to be like anybody else who's taking time off to, you know, just keep their draft stock warm and whatnot. So again, it says so much about him and this team, about that's how they're always going to play. And obviously you just hope it can result more in wins. Obviously wasn't too pleased with the overall result of the Baylor game either, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It was a little too close for my liking. However, a win's a win, and given how Tuesday played out, like, I'll take it. And again, when you're making plays like that, that can be the difference maker. Whether it immediately results in points or not, like, you have to take those plays into consideration of that contributed to winning. Because again, sometimes plays like that just wear out the other team, and maybe that's kind of the breather that you needed. Or maybe that's just kind of the state you needed to put the other team in so that you can attack them on the next possession. So again, it just creates a lot of unique opportunities, and it's just a matter of, are you going to attack those opportunities?
Jake Brand had a really good question in that post game, the Baylor game, to TJ, just talking like Taman only has a couple games left. Have you been able to kind of tell with his play that like he's really kind of taken it all in? These are his last couple games. And TJ was like, well, yes and no, because he's always done this. He's always played this hard, and he's always put his body on the line for this team's success. And it was just like a complete kind of, that is who Taman Lipsey is. It's always been that way. It continues to be that way. But these home games mean something to that. It does. Like he only has a couple more games in Hilton Coliseum. The arena a couple miles away from his childhood home. Like that guy's going to do anything he can to win games in these next month or so. And like, I don't know, just appreciate him. Nate Heisey, another senior, he had a really good first half against Baylor. And then Joshua Jefferson is just going to do, like, you can basically put him on the stat sheet for at least 15, 5, and 5. Just like start the game. He's going to get that. Might get a little bit more. Might mess around and get a triple-double. Like, that's just who he is at this point. He's a first-team All-American. They were talking about that during the TCU game yesterday. I don't remember who the commentator was, but I think he's got to be a lock for a first-team All-American. And you're seeing him get that national recognition now.
Him and Tugler. Best front court in the Big 12. Him and Tugler.
Hey, you get JoJo Tugler on this team, Nigel? I bet we don't lose to Cincinnati and TCU. That's all I'll say.
Sure, man.
We don't get out-rebounded by TCU if we have JoJo Tugler.
Blake Buchanan is watching this podcast right now, and he's fuming. I want you to know that.
Blake Buchanan would be a great piece if JoJo Tugler was on this team, but we're not getting out-rebounded by the smallest team in the Big 12 if JoJo Tugler's on our team.
Not every day's your day. That's all I'm going to tally that up to.
Yeah. I mean, so like the one stat that I just got super mad at about today, so it was a collapse against Baylor. I mean, they have some elite shot makers. Like that team is really dangerous in the last couple minutes just because of Carr and Yesufu. But they went on a 12-0 run to end the game, and then a 12-0 run in the last minute, I should say. And then TCU scored 8 points in the last minute in the game on Tuesday. Iowa State scored 0 points in the last minute of both games. So combined, we were on the wrong end of a 20-0 run in the last 2 minutes of the last two games. And we're 1-1, which is really kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you play that badly in the final minute of two competitive games, you're probably going 0-2. Yeah. The execution in the final minute of both these games, you got to tip your cap to Baylor to some degree on making shots. TCU was just sloppy, bad basketball in the final minute of that game. And we can kind of, do you have anything else about Baylor? Do you just want to nosedive into the shit show that was TCU?
Let's just
rip the Band-Aid off.
Take me through there, twin. Please.
So Jackson and I were talking. You keep TCU's leading scorers. Both of them don't get to double digits. Both of them had bad games. And I'm sure that was the game plan. Like limit punch, limit 24 on your screen right there. And they did. That's exactly what they did. Nigel, we got a guy coming off the bench named Tanner Toolson, your boy, who had 17 points. He has scored more than 10 points all of 3 times this season. He had 17 off the bench. Who was the other guy? Micah Robinson had 17. Brock Harding looked terrible at basketball as usual. That guy is the exact same player he was at Iowa. We left that Lithuanian kid open on 3 both of the times he made it. We left him wide open in transition defense another time, and they just didn't find him. It was just such a sloppy 17 turnovers as a team, 1 away from the most all season. I was just so disappointed in so many different elements of the game yesterday. Out-rebounded, had more turnovers. Jackson, can you scroll down? Did they have more shot attempts than us too? We had 57. They had 52.
Crazy.
But I mean, those are always the 3 areas I look at in losses. We got beaten to death by Cincinnati in all 3 of those categories, and that's why we lost.
I mean, not to say that it matters. I mean, it does matter. This is actually really concerning, but also 25% from the free throw line. Terrible. Get the gun.
I don't think we made a free throw in the second half.
Get the gun, Dylan.
Yeah.
What? Because if we're not going to shoot free throws, might as well do something else.
Have fun in March if you can't make free throws.
This is crazy. And my bigger frustration is just like losing games you have no business to.
Yeah.
Like throw what went wrong, what went correct, obviously, out the window for a second. And it's just objectively, like, until we started playing Kansas on Saturday, all of these games should have been winnable. And we won most of them. I don't want to, like, just kind of not give credit where credit's due. Like, we took care of business most days we were out there. But it just seems like wrapping up the easy part of the schedule is where, again, we got complacent. And it's moments like this where a team like this just genuinely bothers me. Because I just don't see the 1 seeds laying down for that. Right now, the tournament starts tomorrow. The number 1 seeds are probably Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and UConn. And any 4 of those teams, like if you have a moment of weakness, like they probably will exploit you off of pretty much size alone. Because I think all 4 of those teams are bigger than us. Yeah. So that's like you're already playing down 5-10 points. So like you got to be aware of that, but also like I don't know, man, I feel some type of way, and it's like I don't want to compare this team to last year's because obviously there's a ton of differential factors that play into that, but I have a odd like gut feeling that for whatever reason, moments like this, performances like this, can turn into an Ole Miss game from last season, and I really hope we can avoid that. But I don't know. Right now, in times like this, I definitely do get a tad bit concerned. I won't lie, especially come February.
And like TCU, the defense was good enough. You limit TCU to 62 points. Their 2 leading scorers look pedestrian. You just got to find a way to win that game. They went on a 10-0 run, had a kill shot in the second half. I think they were up 51-49. You have to put your foot on their neck. You have to get out of there with a win by any means. Do whatever you got to do. And to like see them respond, and the way I want to say it was a Joshua Jefferson 3, a Milan 3, a Taman, and then Taman had 2 layups. It was like your big 3 guys that everybody in the country know about came up to the plate and delivered. But then you got to find a way to finish. You had your run to be like, no, we're not going away, but to not capitalize and to not find a way to finish the last 2 minutes of that game. Exactly like you said, you just can't lose games that you're supposed to win. Not in this conference, because we're going to play Kansas and Houston. I know Hilton Coliseum's a great venue. Those 2 teams are so much better than TCU. And TCU's had some good wins. They beat Florida. Florida played a lot differently early on in the season. They look like 2 different teams now. But they beat Florida. They played Michigan really close. They beat us. So they have the capability to pull these upsets, but they're on the wrong side of the bubble right now. And you just can't. Cincinnati's the same way. Houston has won at Cincinnati and has won at TCU. If you want to be like Houston, you can't lose these kinds of games.
Yeah. It's a good old kick in the pants, that's for sure.
Sure is. It sure is. And I don't think it's as simple as like we need one player to step up. But it's when things are going wrong, we are not playing a good game collectively. Someone has to be like, God damn it, we're not losing this game. You got to take it personally. Yeah. And I think it's probably that kind of group of 3, Milan and Taman and Joshua, the guys that have been there and seen it, that have to come together and be like, hey, man, we're way too good for this. Yeah. Brock Harding is on that team. We have to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, that does kind of piss me off. I'm not gonna lie, Brock Hart. Yeah, no, good point. I think too, like when the team has 3 guys who most likely, like from a personality standpoint, I know Taman for sure, but the other 2 too. I mean, those 3 lead by example, and something that I find a little tough in days like this where you just can't get things going is when you don't have a very vocal leader. It's very hard to get yourself out of a hole because a vocal leader at times just knows a few more triggers to get under individuals' skin, to get them motivated and moving. And I feel like to a degree that's what this team is lacking for obvious reasons. I mean, Buchanan and Toure are not probably feeling like the biggest fish in the lineup from like a pecking order standpoint. So they're not going to be too vocal. No one from the bench is very outspoken either. And it just seems like right now, and again, this could very much so come to bite us in the butt later on, but it just seems like we don't have a vocal leader this year. And I'm not saying it has to be Taman, it has to be Milan, it has to be Joshua Jefferson, but it has to be somebody.
Yeah.
Like, somebody has to be vocal in moments like that and push people. Because if not, then you are just going to be okay laying down in March. And I'm not okay with that. I know you're not. So, I don't know, man. It's hard to change your personality in February, but I feel like from a personality standpoint, that's kind of what this team is lacking. And a game like this is very telling in what we're lacking. Because it's not necessarily, it is ball movement. It is, offense getting a little stagnant sometimes, but also, like, who's just getting in people's ass and during halftime? Like, you see it all the time, especially in basketball. I know in the 2016 finals, Game 7, Ty Lue at halftime is yelling at LeBron, saying he's not giving it enough First of all, pause. Second of all, that's LeBron James, okay? This is game 7. I would pipe down Ty Lue, but I didn't see the vision, and we went on to see one of the greatest second halves we've ever seen with our 2 set of eyes, okay? I even think back to watching the I Hate Christian Laettner documentary. Christian Laettner, as hated as he is, one of the best attributes he had as a teammate was the ability to get under his teammate's skin. So yes, America hated him. Coach K hated him sometimes. Other teams hated him.
Hurley hated him.
That's my point, though.
Yep.
But the ability to get under people's skin, get the best out of them, and then when the confetti's falling and you're a national champion, who's the first person jumping in your arms? Bobby Hurley. So I'm not saying you got to go out there and be Christian Laettner, but on every team there has to be a vocal leader. And I know with the departure of Conrad, there's probably not anyone willing to take that vocal spot because they feel like it's probably inauthentic to themselves. However, that needs to be a necessity going forward. I think in every great team down the line, you have someone who can do that, who can bring that out of the team. And it's kind of tough to realize that, it's not necessarily there. And if someone is being vocal, they probably don't have, again, the I guess position in the pecking order that would be as impactful.
Right.
I know Conrad is different because he's like more willing to get in someone's face. He's big. And again, he's got quarterback energy at the end of the day. So like he's used to corralling people together to let's go after one common goal. Not everyone's used to doing that. So
yeah,
something to think about come recruiting season. Because if we really are like lacking this, it doesn't matter how much talent you have on a roster. Like in moments like this, it might break you. Just might break you.
I'm glad you brought up Conrad because I was going to say I think last year's team, even though Kurt and Keyshawn had 2 like really big personalities, I think everyone on the team last year would tell you that Conrad Hawley was like the vocal leader of that team.
Yeah.
The only team I was trying to kind of like rack my brain for like a really successful team that like Baylor is kind of what came to mind with like Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell, Messi. None of those guys are super outspoken. But like you have to be.
But then you have a Mark Vidal.
Yeah, but I like in Masio Teague, I still don't know if either of those guys were like the type to be in the middle of the huddle. Freddie, what was his name?
No, I think Butler comes off quiet. However, he was very like, let's bring everyone together. Let's get everyone back on the same page type of personality. And it just wasn't as showy. Like some people are a bit more showy than others. A good example I think of is Quinn Cook back on the 2015 team. Like, he was great at corner threes, but he was also good at, after an and one from Drew Okafor, beating the shit out of his chest and like keeping people up at a certain level and energy that you needed to win games. So again, like it doesn't always have to be the senior. It doesn't always have to be the glue guy, but it has to be somebody. And as well put together as we've talked about this team being, that is something that I am starting to see a big flaw in. And again, it could just be from a complete personality dynamic, and I just hope that does not come back to bite us in the butt come the tournament.
And during like media availability, Joshua Jefferson has talked about taking on more of a leadership role. But like you said, I think a lot of it is personality. Like it's one thing I know he has the respect of his teammates. I know Taman does. I know Milan does. But people also know like Conrad was such a good vocal leader because that's who that guy is. Like from the day he was born, he's just that's the type of personality he has. And people see right through it if it's forced or if like, you know what I mean? Like you can be like, dog, that's not like, what are you doing? Like, you're not, who are you? Right. Like, I don't know. It's like, I think there's still a way to do it and have success, but it just takes a lot more buy-in. I think you have to be so much more independently responsible because you don't have that guy who's in the middle of the huddle pumping guys up right before you run out into war.
Yeah. Yeah.
And TJ is as vocal, dog. He was, how close we sit during those games. I think it was the 16-minute timeout in the second half of that Baylor game. I thought coach was going to pop a blood vessel. That guy was, I don't know how he had any voice left. He usually
doesn't.
getting into it. Yeah, it's usually pretty hoarse. He's quick to grab a water bottle before post game, but I think some of that is from coaching. I think TJ is kind of a drill sergeant type coach, where when you're in the huddle, he is going to tell you exactly. He's going to be very clear and very straight to the point on what he needs out of you, and like that could be why too. It's like they have TJ to kind of get the best out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for almost, 20 out of the we're 20-3. It's worked. Like another thing I was noticing during the TCU and just different group chats I'm in, I was looking up 1 seeds from the past. The top of college basketball is so elite compared to what it was 6, 8, 10 years ago. Like it is so like it feels like the past really since NIL, there's been 4 teams and then there's been a drop and then it's everybody else. And like Oregon was a 7-loss 1 seed. There's been multiple like 7, 8-loss 1 seeds, and you just don't see that anymore. So I feel like the margin for error is so thin that you like lose a game to TCU and you're like, season's over. You're out of the Big 12 race. Like you can't lose it. And it does feel like that. But this is college basketball and good teams lose games. The only undefeated team left is Miami of Ohio. So like every team is lost.
Yeah. Like, are they really a team?
Right. Well, America's team. I have watched a couple of Miami, Ohio games. That offense, talk about ball movement. Those guys are slinging the rock in Miami.
Yeah, it must be real hard to break NIU's 2-3 zone, but I'll digress, I guess.
Shout out Huskies.
Go Dogs. No, but I mean, again, like to your point, I know you were talking about kind of like just the talent level of today's game. Like it has evolved, and it does kind of create an environment where you feel like you don't have much room to mess up. But you also got to keep in mind that like almost everyone outside of Houston, even they've lost a game. Like everyone has kind of fallen on their face this season, especially in the Big 12. We've seen the most of BYU, especially recently. So again, we're not alone in this too. So I don't want people to get like, losing sleep over it and whatnot. But again, to be 4th in the Big 12 right now is not the end of the world. I think at the end of the day, we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. And my worries are more so from a, more so from a PTSD angle. Like I'm just more so not trying to repeat history. And if it's something that you can prevent, why not try to do it? And I think obviously like with how you approach a game, it can tend to be a little easier when you do have coaches on the floor. Like if TJ's able to do that on the sideline, that's great. He can't put on a jersey and huddle up with you guys. So who's going to be that coach on the floor that is not necessarily being performative and getting in people's face just for the love of doing so, but who's actually just going to take on that role going forward, and just try to see it through. And again, I think if you do anything and you're trying, I don't think it's you being inauthentic. So if Joshua Jefferson is having those internal battles of how much should I give to my team? How much should I hold back? Like, dude, this is your last year of college basketball. Give it all you have. The same message you have for the students and kids in their last year and other students that are going to move on to the next grade at Iowa State. It's the same goes for Joshua Jefferson and Milan and everybody else who's playing. Like, you only get so many of these times in your life, so you got to use them to the best of your ability. Because one day you're going to look back and have a lot of regrets if you don't do it to the best of what you could do. So, again, sometimes the answers are bigger than basketball. Sometimes you may have to go soul searching for the answer, but sometimes they're also like right in front of you. And my advice is to not overthink it, because a lot of the problems we're facing right now are pretty simple and they're easy to fix.
I was talking to Jackson. How do you feel about this Kansas game? I feel kind of the same way before Cincinnati, where it's like we either showed up pissed off from the jump, punch him in the face right when the ball is tipped, and Hilton is just on him before the game starts, or we're feeling down on ourselves that we lost to the Horned Frogs of Corpus Christi, and this guy off a flu game, air quotes, gives it to us in Hilton Coliseum because, of course, he would be sick for Arizona. Kansas still wins, but it just feels such like an Iowa State thing of like, oh, now Darryn Peterson is the paragon of health and has never looked better in his entire life, even though he sat out every other game this season.
I think everyone goes into Saturday pretty pissed off.
You got to. You absolutely have
just
to.
wanting to set a tone, to send a message.
What this team did in Lawrence,
Yeah.
you have to take that and just.
They pulled your pants down. What are you gonna do about it?
Yep.
You gonna keep them down? Because if I were you, I'd pull them up.
Pull your pants back up.
You do, yeah. That's what you have to do. And guys, if you're an Iowa State student and you're gonna be at the game on Saturday, it's not just about showing up. It's so easy to make that pineapple haircut having ass dude that was just on the screen a second ago. It's so easy to make his day a living hell. He's already in Ames, Iowa, which to him probably is already equivalent to hell. So when he walks into that gymnasium and he feels the hot, bright lights on him, I need people to be on his neck and don't let off until the final whistle blows. I mean, I need to hear his mother's name. I need to hear his grandmother's name. I need to hear his professors at Prolific Prep. You know, someone find his transcripts. Let's start reading off his grades.
What's his GPA?
Yeah.
Figure that out.
Let's read his test scores. Yeah. I want to hear what his academic advisor has to say about him and the truth, not the shit she tells Bill Self just to keep him eligible. I want the real opinion. And then on top of it, I want at least 3 of his sneaky links at Kansas. I want their names, their addresses. You got to do research, and it's easy. It's easy. You just, attack Instagram. Be strategic. Be tactical in your approach. It's within all of you guys. You just got to want it. You got to want to go the extra mile and get creative. Because, he's heard DMP. It's a great chant, but show us something different. Let's get creative. I think there's not gonna be another environment like Saturday where we're gonna need the students as bad as we need them on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the answer is simple. We gotta kill them. They
ABC, ESPN is running promos for it all week. The promo's great, by the way. It gets me jacked up every time they're talking about how good Hilton Coliseum is.
Whoa.
Sorry. Pause. But this is the game. Fedori Badunga, go play soccer. That guy didn't pick up a basketball until he was 16. Melvin Council, ugly. There's just simple things that sometimes it's as easy as one word in the pregame shoot around. That's really when the student section can get awesome because it's quiet in there. If some dude 5 rows back yells loud enough, the whole gym can hear you.
Yeah.
That's when you do your research.
For sure. No, you do your research on Friday night. You come prepared. You don't show up to the test day and start looking up answers. You come.
What I'm saying though is you unleash some of it before the game even starts. I want the Kansas players to be looking behind their shoulder before the game is even going.
Yeah. Again, what sucks about this year is I really thought this would be a year you could win in Lawrence, especially with the not knowing if Peterson was going to play or whatnot. But again, you got to get an opportunity where you can get it. And as of recent, Hilton's been our house. And no matter how KU wants to walk into the gymnasium on Saturday, in recent years, it just hasn't been a problem. So I expect it to be that going forward. Obviously, you're going to kind of catch them at a good time where you can kind of give them a U-Miami treatment, where,
coming off a huge win,
feeling like you're on the top of the world. Man, we didn't even have Peterson, man. Man, that was light work. Really? Get ready to learn Taman Lipsy.
Yeah.
This guy's kneecaps are bleeding. You think you're going to bother him? Brother, get a fork and a plate because we're about to cook. and I hope you have an empty stomach because we're about to fill you up. Wow, that was crazy. Pause.
Yeah.
You get what I mean, people. We're gonna win the game on Saturday. It's gonna be good vibes. I'm exhausted. Dylan and I should get to sleep.
I want to do a lightning round here of just like college basketball from across the country.
Please.
Speaking of Christian Laettner, I think Jeremy Fears, if Michigan State keeps having success and that guy keeps tripping people and kicking people in the balls, Jeremy Fears has a great opportunity to be like the college villain of this year. And he doesn't even play for Duke. You got to be, Draymond Green was really, or Aaron Kraft, he was that guy sucked. But there's not too many guys where they get like the whole country against them and they're not wearing a Duke uniform. You have to be all for Jeremy Fears.
Marshall Henderson.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty rare. And he's got some heat, and he played amazing against Illinois.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and with me, I've always seen the bad guy in those Spartans in green over there.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like, there's always like they're inherently bad people. they're not good dudes. They're dirty. They smell. They're the same color as Waste Management. I'm seeing a lot of similarities to trash. A lot of them get in trouble with the law. A lot of them get in trouble at home. There's plenty of you go look at the articles about how many people. Guys, Draymond Green went to college there. They let him graduate. They let him also play spring football. They don't have standards over there. They just let them do whatever.
Miles Bridges is punching guys. He was almost a Cyclone. People forget Miles Bridges almost Iowa State Cyclone. Yep. We were going after him hard. Yep.
Yeah, I forgot him and Monte.
But he's punching Isaiah, or really getting punched by Isaiah Stewart. He didn't do a whole lot of punching. He just kind of got the work.
Isaiah Stewart's coming at you full speed. What are you going to do? Pause. Oh, my God.
Hide.
This is getting out of hand.
Okay. One last thing. Big Monday. I am so happy for college basketball that DNP missed probably the best game of the season. And the spotlight was on everybody except that crybaby that was sitting on the end of the bench with a tummy ache. And instead, Fog Allen was just historic. That's the kind of Fog Allen was like the second best player for Kansas. Mm-hmm. Like, that is the kind of what we're going to need out of him, Hilton Coliseum. And it's happened a couple times, as I've been there. But that's the kind of environment we're going to need. But that place was electric.
Yeah. No, it's we're going to have to bring him in. It's that simple. There's nothing else to say in regards to KU. I've seen enough. I've had enough of the shenanigans. I think America's had enough of the shenanigans. It would be great to get that kid playing full 40 minutes of basketball, and we just give him in return 40 minutes of hell.
Yep.
That sound good?
Also, before we get out of here, Jackson, I want to show some Purple Kansas. Friend of the podcast, Jerome Tang, Michaela Dia with the
Oh
video
my God,
here.
They lost how much to Cincinnati?
Bad. 91-62. Take it away, Jerome.
I'm gonna honor Christ like I always do.
Honor Christ?
Blessed.
Brother, you need Christ
to do this, but this was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year.
Buddy, you won't be in this uniform next year.
University, I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. It is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer and no words. So y'all got two questions. So whoever want to ask two questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed, and this is all right. Questions. Yeah, I don't know. I asked the staff this week that same question, and they said that more the opponents. You play. I don't know, because I followed Minnesota last year closely, and they played great on the road and struggled at home. So then they started staying in hotels at home, like treating it like a road game. And so I even talked about, hey, do we need to change that change? But no, none of that crap matter, man. These dudes got to have some. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Everything this university is about and all that it's been about. Why I love this place, man. They don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here.
What did you make of the student section with paper bags on their heads?
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
Ema.
Did he just bang a set while he walked on? Thanks a lot, fellas.
Oh, hey, a good reminder that it can always be worse. You could be a Kansas City fan right now.
Yeah. Dude, we're going to win on Saturday. Darryn Peterson, bring your lunch, because we're going to give you some bad pizza. Utah, flu game. You know what I mean?